Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. We are honored to be joined by Chief Vincent Mann, who is a Turtle Clan chief of the Ramapough Lunaape Nation. He is the 2016 winner of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award. Chief Mann, it's an honor to have you with us.
It's an honor for me as well, Steve.
We met a few years back at the Making a Difference Award and the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award, and so many wonderful people making a huge difference, unsung heroes, if you will. Tell us about the Lunaape Nation. What is it, and what are you facing as we move into 2021?
The Ramapough Lunaape Nation are the descendants from the original inhabitants of New Jersey, northern New Jersey, southern New York, western Connecticut, the Muncie-speaking people. Today we have about 5,000 enrolled tribal members. And as we look forward to 2021, you know, the Turtle Clan itself is still struggling with residing in a federal Superfund site.
Yeah.
But as 2021 comes forward, we're very hopeful that through some of the programs that we're working on, that we're able to bring some help ourselves, you know, to that self-help, if you will.
You know, Chief, people hear Superfund site, and the term, I believe, came about in the 1980s, late 70s into 80s. People go, oh, Superfund site. But I don't know if people know what that means. So make it clear, Chief Mann, what exactly we're talking about and why it's so potentially, not potentially, but is dangerous on so many levels and causes a whole range of medical and health issues for you and the other folks at the Ramapough Lunaape Nation.
Yeah, so a federal Superfund site there was a law created called CERCLA, and that was to hold accountable those corporations who dumped toxic waste. And in our case, the Ford Motor Corporation dumped toxic waste for 7 years on open ground and mine shafts, with the approval and support of the town of Ringwood, and as well as the state of New Jersey, you know, issuing a permit for a year for the toxic waste to be disposed of there. This all sits above the Montague Reservoir and is the recharge area for that actually feeds 4 to 6 million people. And one of the issues that I have had and the struggle that I have is seemingly not having a large enough voice, because even though it has affected us directly, it has also affected 4 to 6 million people who have no knowledge of where their water comes from. Right. And no potential that water has been toxic, you know. And like Newark, you know, they have a problem with their water. I wonder why. You know, it's the same thing with Flint, Michigan. When they switched the water source, and the chemicals that were in the water began the leaching of the lead. So the issues that we have in Newark and Patterson, Jersey City, Passaic, and even places that are affluent communities like Franklin
Right.
Lakes.
Hey, Chief, has the site been cleaned up?
Absolutely not. There is a record of decision. The record of decision as it stands, the town came in at the very last second of the very last day and put forth a one area that was supposed to be totally remediated and returned back to a forestal land for our people, is actually going to be turned into a recycling center by the town of Ringwood. And then leaving all of the toxic waste there and just cleaning up minimal stuff. So it's going to forever be a toxic waste dump. Our people, 46 homes, about 300 or so people are actively still living there, actively still paying taxes on their homes that have no value, actively playing and hunting around the general area. And, you know, there seems to be, 56 years later, you would think that somebody somewhere would hear that call and come to bring that help to the people.
But it hasn't happened.
Absolutely not. No health care, no active engagement to remove the community to another community, you know, to create another community. You know, and so even to the people that are in Newark, right? Hundreds of thousands of people, when I asked the EPA to have a citizens advisory group meeting so that the people that are in the Newark who are stakeholders could have a voice whether or not they think that stuff should stay there. Why has 4 to 6 million people in the state of New Jersey, the most populous state in the country, not have a voice in whether or not that toxic material should stay there or not.
Let me ask you this, the responsibility you have as chief as it relates to what we're talking about right now in this very serious health, medical, environmental crisis.
So my responsibility is an inherent responsibility as a chief to protect our families, protect our children, protect our elders, which few that are left, to the environment in which we rely on. We rely on that for our cultural survival, right? Our cultural way of life. And so the responsibility that falls upon me is the responsibility of literally protecting their lives, literally burying over 80 of our people over the last couple of years. You know, that's a very super intense, emotional, spiritual experience that most humans couldn't deal with.
Excuse me, Chief, has COVID made it worse?
COVID made it worse, but what I will say about this is that for 56 years, if people want to take a look at COVID-19 and how everyone's scared, our people have been living with that same thing for 56 years. And now we have communities who are compromised because of that and the acts of other people, municipalities and state and wrongdoers, to add this on top of that. So we've been actually going out, creating food drives, getting donations to be able to bring food into the community, which we did a 200 family food distribution on this Sunday, right? To keep them out of the grocery stores because they're compromised, right? And so, you know, COVID-19, yes. Is it affecting us? Yes. Is it affecting our other communities? Some more than others. We just recently, yesterday, we lost 3 of our people, an elder, a brother, and a nephew. And so we can't and haven't been successful in bringing help to our people because it's a political bomb, right?
Yeah. Chief, I wish we had more time, but I want to ask you this. You won the 2016, you were one of the winners of the 2016 Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, you know, being recognized for being an unsung hero. And as I said back then when you interviewed me, Steve, I'm not that person. The unsung heroes are those people of my family who've lost their lives, who struggle every day to survive and to keep their culture alive. And, you know, being recognized in that way, that has given me the strength because I look at it as I just spoke, you know, and, you know, we created Muncie Three Sisters Medicinal Farm. That is to be able to grow food to distribute to our community, but not just our community, to other people who are in need. Right? Food sovereignty is a real thing. Food justice, protecting the waters. That is all the responsibility of this person who's sitting in front of you, you know, and it should be the responsibility of a lot more human beings. The money that came in, I helped put my nephew through school, became an engineer so he can come back to his community, right? And so, you know, it has given me that internal boost of strength to continue forward. We've created a nonprofit to also assist in that as well.
Chief, I want to thank you for joining us and sharing an incredibly important story that clearly is not getting not even close to the attention it deserves. Chief Vincent Mann, I wish you and everyone up at the Ramapough Lunaape Nation all the best. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Steve. Blessings.
I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.